end of those sanctions, Sally, was supposed to signal a glut in the oil market and the price going down, but...
Well, when you've had the worst weather weekend ever in Washington, D.C., New York and elsewhere in that part of the world, what do they all do? Put the heating on, turn the heating up, consume a lot of oil. So oil prices actually have been rallying over the weekend after Friday's 10% gains, and analysts are now predicting what will happen this year. They're sort of realigning their thinking. So oil has seen dramatic falls, as Adnan was saying, over the past 18 months. It's now dropped to just a fraction of its peak in the middle of 2014. There's simply too much of it around. Between 1 and 2 million barrels of oil every day is being pumped in excess of demand. Now, in a battle by producers to try and gain market share, the International Energy Agency is saying unless something changes, then the oil market could drown in oversupply. So what is likely to happen this year? Well, we've been gauging the mood from Davos, and also we'll be getting an expert view later in World Business Report.
I could see us a price 30 to 40 middle of the year, and I think towards the end of the year I think it could be in the 50s.
I think the oil price in 6 months' time will be at the level of $35 to $40 per barrel.
I predict the oil price is going to be about $35 in 6 months, and there's reason for it. There's oversupply, there's very little demand. Of course, we all want to blame China for our woes and troubles, but this is not really the only problem.
Nobody really knows exactly where the oil price will be, but my prediction is $30.
So I'm going to bet at $20. Reason? Oh, you guys know that.
The oil price in 6 months will be $15 a barrel because of the extraordinary glut of oil on the planet.
It might go even till $5 per barrel. It might go to that low.
Okay, the price of oil in 6 months' time, I'm sure it's going to keep on going down and down. So at the moment, oil prices up over $32 a barrel. As we say, a spike and a rally. So we'll be having another expert view in World Business Report. Now let's quickly talk about Japan. The latest trade numbers are out. It looks like the slowdown in the global economy is taking its toll on Asia's Asia's second biggest economy, the world's third biggest. Exports fell 8% in December from the year before, which was a lot more than forecast. Imports fell by 18%. Overall, it means Japan's posted a trade surplus of about $1.2 billion. So what do the numbers say about the strength of its economy? We'll be looking at that, and we'll have the other business stories. I'll see you soon.
Thanks very much, Sally. The BBC has learned that the sportswear manufacturer Adidas plans to end its
elects a new president. First of all, though, we start with the price of the black stuff, but this time we're talking about oil prices going up, and analysts are now rethinking their predictions for 2016. As I'm sure you're well aware, oil prices have seen dramatic falls over the past 18 months, with prices now just a fraction of the peak in the middle of 2014. There's simply too much of it around. At the moment, between 1 and 2 million barrels of oil every day is being pumped in excess of demand. This as producers battle it out to try and gain market share. Well, the International Energy Agency says unless something changes, the oil market could drown in oversupply. Let's take a look at this from Davos.
I could see us a price 30 to 40 middle of the year, and I think towards the end of the year I think it could be in the 50s.
I think the oil price in 6 months' time will be at the level of $35 to $40 per barrel.
I predict the oil price is going to be about $35 in 6 months, and there's reason for it. There's oversupply, there's very little demand. Of course, we all want to blame China for our woes and troubles, but this is not really the only problem.
Nobody really knows exactly where the oil price will be, but my prediction is $30.
So I'm going to bet at $20. Reason? Oh, you guys know that.
The oil price in 6 months will be $15 a barrel because of the extraordinary glut of oil on the planet.
It might go even till $5 per barrel. It might go to that low.
Okay, the price of oil in 6 months' time, I'm sure it's going to keep on going down and down. So there you have it, a very diverse range of predictions on where the price of oil is going. Hopefully in a few minutes we'll be able to get another expert view for you live on the show. But first of all, let's talk about Japan, because the latest trade figures are out and it looks like the slowdown in the global economy is taking its toll. Exports fell 8% in December from the year before, which was a lot more than forecast. Imports also going down by 18%. Let's go to Sharon Jitlale, who's in our Asia Business Hub in Singapore. Nice to see you, Sharon. So fill us in on Japan. Not good numbers out today.
No, not great numbers at all, Sally, as you say. Though, of course, you do have these low oil prices, and that's actually helped narrow Japan's trade deficit somewhat. So that's actually helped to some degree. But, of course, you know, looking forward, though, a lot of investors are looking towards the key Bank of Japan meeting later this week. That will shed a little bit more clues on what's happening there, because, of course, China's slowdown continues to affect demand from Japan and elsewhere in the region. You know, they're looking to set out monetary policy. And, of course, last week we saw the chief of the European Central Bank, Mario Draghi, hinting at more monetary stimulus. And there's hopes the Bank of Japan may do likewise at the end of this week, following those downbeat economic reports. Of course, the other thing that investors are watching for here are expectations that the Federal Reserve, who are also meeting to decide monetary policy this week, will leave interest rates unchanged. So all of that casting a bit of a pall on the rest of the week, even though we are seeing Asian markets rising quite strongly this Monday, including the Nikkei, pretty much shrugging off the details of this somewhat downbeat economic data.
Okay, super. Thank you, Sharon. Yes, indeed, all markets, share markets across Asia are rising this Monday, which is quite unusual, isn't it, when you think about the Mondays we've had so far this year. Let's now return to oil. I am told that our expert Bob Ruddiman, who's head of energy at Pinsent Masons, is able to join us now live from Aberdeen. Thanks for being on the programme. So I don't know if you're able to hear earlier some of those predictions we were getting from various people that we've interviewed in Davos, but certainly the price of oil is headed higher at the moment. Just to give us some of the reasons why.
Well, I think we've had a short-term issue with supply and demand, the issues around the slowing of Chinese growth, and medium-term, though, the belief is that the price will rise as supply and demand become closer in balance.
So what's your thoughts on the actual price at the moment? It's around $32.30 a barrel. It's hovering around there. For this year, what are you guys predicting at Pinsent Masons?
I think we see it rising further as the year goes by. Many were taken by surprise with how low the price has been, although we've quickly adjusted to that, and the response from our participants in our survey with Merger Market suggests that the industry expects a longer price, a higher price rather, in the medium term.
What about the introduction, of course, of more oil coming from Iran?
That inevitably has an impact in the short term, but I think that's been factored in anticipation of it happening, and I think we will see it with a higher price in the longer term.
All right, Bob, we've got to leave it there, but we appreciate your time this morning, giving us your thoughts on where the price of oil is headed. Now let's talk about Portugal next. Veteran centre-right politician and television pundit Marcelo Rebelo de Sousa has won Portugal's presidential elections with nearly 99% of the vote counted.